Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Prima, we have the fantastic The Home Baker. We featured the Home Baker before in 6x6. This one is a little different. There's different goodies inside of it, and this is the 6x8 collection, and we're pairing it with our 8.5x11 Magnolia Blossom. It's beautiful. The pairing, the aqua colors are absolutely gorgeous. And you guys together make cards like this one with this little pull-out tag. Look at the cute little clothesline dazzles, little doily dazzle, and then on the inside, cute. You guys, this is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, let's take a look at the 6x8. So you're getting 6 double-sided designs, 2 sheets of each, 2 cutout sheets, and a sheet of vellum. All right, so you have the beautiful little scene here. This is the one I showed on the card, on the tag that's in the card. So cute, of little Mama Mouse baking with her daughter. Love that one. And then all the little details with the recipes kind of in the background and the beautiful flowers. And then on the other side of this, we have this beautiful, like, very distressed, torn paper, lots of flowers, lots of recipe things. And then this beautiful striped ticking, and then the gorgeous flowers, the little recipes right here. And then on the other side, you're getting this fantastic little plaid border, more of the little recipe scenes here, and the actual text. Kind of got chipped paint going on, really nice collaging. And then the cute little mouse carrying the little mason jar, the stand mixer, all of the little flowers and little scenes. And of course, these are all little torn out pages from recipe books. And then you've got the kitchen tiles and the beautiful florals in that rich teal and green color, with the green ticking on the back. And then these fantastic little blanks, I imagine them as being recipe cards. I'm going to show you what I did with those in a little bit. And on the back of those, some more tiles. And then we've got the cute little scene with the little mice, and then even the little plaid, like tablecloth right here. And then this area with the recipe on it. And on the back, this really great collage of all these recipe sheets. And I love the little circles that are just for, like, when you put maybe a measuring cup down and it's kind of dripping with things, and you sometimes get those little circles on your recipes. All right, and then the sheets of cutouts, you've got all these little labels for all the ingredients, all of these little circles as well. And on the other side of that, lots of mason jars, lots of little goodies, more of the little kitchen tools, and then this lovely sheet of vellum. I did something special with that. Okay, and then the Magnolia Blossoms in 8.5x11. Look at the beautiful light blue colors. On the back, you get the nice plaid. You're getting 2 of each of these sheets. And I love the borders here. These, of course, are perforated. You just separate them. Love this green. And then this one with the plaid, and then a little crescent shape here. I love this all over print. All of these wonderful tags and greetings. I find this collection is one of my favorites because it's got, like, my heart is so full because of you. Great times are even better when they are shared with great friends, true friends. Handmade with love. Very, very nice. And I love the little tiles on the back here. And you're just getting another one of those. All right, so the money saver, you guys, includes both of these items, and who knows, maybe some extra goodies that Paulette's putting in. Definitely check that out. It's on the right-hand side, right-hand corner, if you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page. Now, as I mentioned, this 5x7 card, it's a tent-fold card. This one is our giveaway, so I'm going to tell you how I made it first. So first I used that beautiful ticking from the 6x8 paper. And then I just used a strip that was just a little border leftover piece at the bottom, and I wanted to make a pocket out of that, but I also wanted to extend the pocket a little bit. So before I glued this down, I kind of thought of how I could make a little pocket here. So I took that little strip of paper, which was only about 1 inch wide, and I glued it right across the bottom and just on the sides. And then I took the crepe ribbon, which comes in a little pack like this, lots of great colors. I took that and just tied it around the entire card. And at the front here, just did a little bow and then added some of these cute little, these are called little daisy and doily little lace appliques. And I just stacked a couple of the little lace appliques there. You'll notice here I added another one. And then this little piece right here, just so when you took the tag out, because as I said, I did extend that little 1 inch pocket with the ribbon. So this just holds this nice and firm. And then added this. So then once I've got this taken care of, I wanted to add a little sentiment on there. And this is our birthday Dazzle stickers, and they come in these 3 colors in a pack. I used the gold and the brown together for the happy birthday. And then let's not forget the cute little doilies, which are right here. These are new. These are little doily stickers. You can see those. And they come with these little borders. And so I just put one of them right down here along the bottom edge, one of the little doilies, then cut out one of those little circles from the little cutouts right back here. See if I can find it. Here we go. Added one of those, inking the edges. I found just using a lot of the cocoa bean ink with the applicator tool went really nicely with this collection. And then you guys, at the top corners, I added, we've been using these a lot lately, these gold corner peel off stickers. Okay, these are from Yay, so they're not technically Dazzle stickers, but they work just the same. And put those here with a little teal Dazzle sticker. And using the little jewel picker is really nice to do that. Just take those little small ones and add them. They just kind of peel off so nicely. Then on the inside, you guys, I just took another scrap that I had and I tore the corner from it, inked the edges. Here's one of the cutouts. And I'm a big fan of cutouts that have a white edge around them. I cut them out and then go ahead and ink the edge of that as well. And it just softens the look of that. So Lynn, let's talk about this little tag. So this is taken directly from, I don't need that anymore, this little area right here. And I actually cut a little bit off here, a little trim, and then cut this down. Let me measure this for you. This is 3 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4 of an inch. Ink those edges, and then you guys, these cute little Dazzle stickers, actually these aren't Dazzle stickers, these are the peel off ones from Yay as well. So cute. Look at the little clothesline. These are called baby, they're like baby Dazzles or baby peel off stickers with the little feet. I didn't use the feet, but the cute little clothesline. I saw that and I thought that would be cute, just hanging in Mama Mouse's kitchen so they could dry. And then also embellished those with some more of these teal Dazzle stickers. Now, when you peel these off, they're outline stickers. Let's see if I can grab one. When you peel them off, they're this outline sticker like this. And so once I got this set the way I wanted at an angle, I went back and I just took my pokey tool and then I just removed all of those little inner pieces from each piece of clothes. So I just lifted those up and placed them like that. Made it much easier. And then that works out on the back. Let's Eat Cake with the stars and things that are also from this collection of Dazzles. Just threaded that with a little bit of that crepe ribbon and also a little bit of jute twine just to tie that together. And then just stick that right inside the pocket. And you'll find it'll be very secure. So our giveaway card works like this, you guys. We love to give away a card every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of our webisodes. And all you have to do to participate is hop on over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, okay, for Paper Wishes on YouTube. And then watch this video, as you might be watching it now, like it, give it a thumbs up, and then leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about the webisode, about the cards. And then after about a week, we'll reply to one person's comment with congratulations, YouTube username blank. You've got to know your YouTube username. And then we give instructions on how to claim the card. So that happens every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And you would need to participate in the same way each one of those days to have a chance to win. So yeah, hope somebody claims their card. All right, next, you guys, I have a Slimline card for you. All right, this one is 8.5 by 3.5 inches, and then I just cut from the bottom front about 1 inch off of that, and then I took those doily stickers. Well, first of all, I covered it, you guys, using that magnolia paper, and then also the one with the cute little all over magnolias. And then I placed a little white straight line dazzle sticker along the edge just to define that edge. I forgot to grab those, but all of the items that I'm showing you are listed individually down below the video if you're watching us in our Paper Wishes webisode page. If you're watching us on YouTube, just look for the link below the video that'll take you to this webisode page, and then just look below the video and you'll see all these items. So I put one of the, or actually 1 1/4 of those stickers right across the bottom edge to define that. And then I just peeled off these larger doilies and I just started placing them, trimming them, taking the other half, placing that, and then doing the same thing with the smaller ones until they all overlapped. And then I cut out all of these cute little mason jars from the paper pack. Here we go. There were so many to play with. And then I glue those three, and then foam tape, those 4. Then added a couple of the tiny little doilies to each one of these. And then right here, we've got some of these adorable little aqua paper flowers. I love these. The scale of them is so nice. And I just used Cosmic Shimmer glue in this little applicator bottle, which has a fine tip point, and I just glued some right there, tied a tiny little bow out of this natural colored jute and glued that as well. And then on the inside, you guys just took one of the greetings and foam taped that. So right there, you'll notice there is a little black tiny words and phrases dazzle stickers. These I love to use in just little small spots, like adding that to the little canning jar, which is so cute. So yeah, that was a fun one to do. All right, next, you guys, we have this great pop out. This one is so easy to do. I've done this several times before. You're taking a 5 by 6.5 inch card, and here is the center line of that card when you open it, and you're scoring each side of the card at 2.5 inches, and then you're just folding it backwards like this. This card right here is a 5 by 5 card, and I've just cut it down to looking 4.5 inch square. And then first cover the panels using the magnolia plaid right here, inked the edges of each one of those panels, glued them to the card. Then I took some paper and just made little squares slightly smaller than the 4.5 inches and glued those there. Now I wanted to really feature these cute little critters on here, you guys. So I went ahead and I just did a little bit of layering. So I took, in the background here is the magnolia paper, and then I took this paper and I just went right down the center here, and I just wanted to feature a little rectangle of each one of those, and I inked the edges and I glued a rectangle here and a rectangle here. And then I literally had a scrap left over of this recipe paper, and I cut those into other rectangles and I inked the edges and I foam taped these. Here's a little square left over from this paper, and I just inked the edges of that and I foam taped those squares. So there's just layering. There's got a little square here that's slightly smaller than the 4.5 inch card, a rectangle featuring the little critter, another rectangle that's foam taped, and another rectangle that's another square that's foam taped. So you're just layering those up, and then added some of the little cutouts, inked the edges of those so you didn't have any stark lines around those, and then added another one of those cute little teal paper flowers right at the corners. And then you guys, these little corner pieces are also from some little gold peel off stickers. Here you can see there's a whole bunch of borders going this way, and they're leaves and flowers. And then on this side of the sheet, we have all of these little corner pieces and then some individual flowers. So I took the little corner pieces and put them right here, and then topped them each with a little teal Jewel Dazzle sticker. So sweet. Took the individual flowers that were from this corner of the sheet and placed them here, adding those Dazzle stickers. And then once, I need to back up a little bit. Before I attached the corner stickers, I did then glue the card to this base card. And I just went, you'll notice, you're just gluing it on the outer part, okay? And it's going in the opposite direction in the folds. This back one looks kind of like a bat to me. And then this one is just a card that's like a tent. And you're just gluing it to the outer parts of your card flaps. Then I added the corner pieces here and here. I want to make sure I got that order correct. Let's see what else. Then I added a little blue crepe ribbon bow. Okay, and then on the backs, you guys, because this is where you would write your message on this card, I wanted to do a little decoration on that. So I literally just took some strips of the leftover paper that I had from the front, that's from the Magnolia 8.5 by 11 collection, and inked the edges and glued those to the back. So this is a really simple card that uses a lot of scraps. So that's a nice one to add to your little stash of card ideas, I think. All right, finally, you guys, I've got a little recipe book. Oh, I did forget to mention one thing before I get to the recipe book. There's Happy Anniversary on here. And that comes from, of course, our Happy Anniversary Dazzle sticker collection. It comes in a pack of 5 with all these different vinyl finishes. And I used the little brown ones. You can say they have different fonts on them that are repeated. So that's just a nice one to keep on hand. Okay. So finally, we've got this little recipe book. It folds out like this and like this. And then there's a pocket right here that has one of the little cutouts in it. Here is the vellum page, just decorative. And then another little pocket with a recipe card. And then finally another pocket with a recipe card. So for this one, I kind of used a combination of paper packs. I used the Magnolia right here, and the rest of it is pretty much from the Home Baker. So let me tell you how I made the base of this. It's just using some envelopes. So you'll need 3 envelopes. Grab these. Okay, just like this. And what you're going to do is open the flap of one, and then you're going to glue that just like this. Grab my little bottle of glue, and there is a specific place that you want to glue this. Now, we also sell these envelopes by a 10-pack, so I'll put that in our supply list in case you don't have any extra envelopes. But you want to take the next envelope and just place it on the flap, but you want to give enough room for the other one to fold. So you want to make sure that there's nothing interfering in here with those fold lines. Okay? And then this last one is going to get glued right here. We have this flap right here that we don't need. So we're going to just take some scissors or your paper trimmer, whatever you have, and just trim that off. I think this layout is really nice to use for anything you really just need some pockets in for Christmas. If you're presenting little notes, gift cards, money, photos that you're sharing. These little pockets are nice and big. Oops, get in there, needle. All right, so now this one's cut off. We're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to just move it over to the right enough so that we don't have any obstacles there. All right, so now you've got a pocket right here, here, and here. Now you'll notice on mine, I did add a little vellum page. How do you do that? Now I'm going to backtrack on you here. Before gluing all three of these together, if you want to add the pocket in, I'm doing this because I forgot to add the pocket. So you just pull that up. I took a piece of paper, this is from the Magnolia collection, instead of using the vellum, and you're just cutting this to just slightly smaller than the height of the envelope. So this particular envelope is about 7¼ inches tall, and this one I just cut to 7 inches. And then the envelopes are 5¼ inches wide. And I want the surface of this one to be about 5¼ inches wide, but then I also want a 1/2 inch flap. All right, so if the whole thing here is 5¾ of an inch wide, and then on this side you're just folding it back by 1/2 inch. Okay, and then I just took a little bit of glue here and here. And then before you would glue these envelopes together, you would just tuck that right in here, like that, and then glue this down. So that now everything is going to fold up like this. Or if you wanted to open this way, it would fold like this. Okay? And then how do you cover each one of these pockets with paper? Okay, because this is a little tricky spot right here. So what I did is I took a 4th envelope, all right, and I cut apart the bottom. I separated the bottom from the top, and then the flap, I separated that. So I took one envelope and I just cut it apart into these 3 pieces. I don't need this one, so we're going to get rid of that. This piece, the bottom part of the envelope, I actually cut this one down a little bit smaller. So now it's a pattern to use to go on the back of each one of these envelopes. So you would take this and use it as a pattern and cut your 3 panels to go on the back, just like that, okay? So that's use of that bottom of the envelope. And then this part right here, I just took my paper trimmer and I trimmed about 1/4 inch from what would be the bottom of the envelope, and then just a tiny little bit, maybe 1/8 inch from this top part and this bottom part. So in other words, you're just shrinking the size of this envelope pattern just a little bit so that it kind of nests right on top of the original envelope. Then I used this to trace onto my paper and then cut it out, inked the edges, and then I just glued them right there. Okay, now the part that you take out that's right here, I literally just took that part and I glued that inside here. So for example, which is so silly I didn't keep that part, but you would just take it, let's say that's the part you just cut off, say it's like this part, and you would just glue it right in there. And that lines your envelope. For all anybody knows, that's completely lined, but it's just a little triangle. I'll show you on mine. You look down in there, it's not all the way lined. All right, so that's how I built the base of it. Now let's go back and look at all the cute little details. All right, so on the front here, I took a 4-inch wide white paper doily and I used my little applicator tool and I just put a line of glue here and then a line of glue just around the edges of the doily and then place that there. This is just a little 1-inch strip of floral paper and I inked the edges and just glued that straight across. This is one of the little circle cutouts from this little pack right here, the one that says homemade, and I inked the edges of that and foam taped it. And then here are those cute little flower corners. You get a lot of them on here. You get 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. And then all these little borders. Remember those little Jewel Dazzle stickers I embellished there. Now we open this page. That's just one of the borders. Another border here. On this little vellum page, I put another border here and then inked the edges brown of the doily and just glued that to the vellum. This is a cutout from the Magnolia sheet. Inked the edges and glued that there. Here's one of the little cutouts from the Home Baker paper pad. And then I just took some of those teal Jewel Dazzle stickers just to add a little color there. Embellish those with those teal Dazzle stickers. And then on the back, you can see that doily through the vellum. So I thought, okay, this is a nice little place to go ahead and glue one of the other cutouts from the Magnolia paper. Here's a border, and that's pretty much it. And then a border on this side as well. And then when this thing is all closed up, I also had some more of those little corners to put there. Now let's talk about these little pieces right here, the recipe cards. Those are right here. And remember, you're getting 2 of these. So you get 4 recipe cards. And then you could hand write. Now, I know we all don't like our handwriting. There's very few people that I've ever met that say, oh, I love my handwriting. We're all a little insecure about our handwriting. But let me tell you something. When my mother passed away, I absolutely cherish her handwriting. And now that everything can be digital, or you can use your computer and your printer, I feel like we don't handwrite things as much. So I would really encourage you, whether you like your handwriting or not, leave samples of it to your family, okay? Definitely. So I cherish my mother's handwritten recipes. They're the first thing I'm grabbing in a fire. So definitely write out some recipes and give those to family members. I'm not even kidding. It's very important. All right, so that's how this all came together. You'll notice I took one of those little cutouts that said baking powder, sugar, all the little ingredients right here, inking the edges of that as well, and then just gluing it halfway, okay? And don't forget, when you're writing your recipe, you can also use the back. You guys, this was such a fun collection. I had a great time just using the Magnolia papers with that same color palette. And I was able to expand my projects. I still had lots more cutouts that I could have used by adding this one to that. So I was really glad when Paulette added that. And then we've got this 5x7 card here, and this Slimline card here, and then this one right here, this little pop-out card. All right, so you guys, don't forget, this card right here is our giveaway card for this episode. So I really hope that you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can participate in that. And then don't forget to watch to see about the announcement. It happens about a week later. And we'll send that to our one lucky winner. You can see so many fun projects to make. Let us know what you think about this in the comments. Don't forget to participate. Money saver. All the other items are listed down below the video. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, hello, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. There's a link to this video down below in the description box. Thanks, you guys. And I'll see you in the next one.